talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo. Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo. Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo. Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo. Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo.
Welcome to another episode of From the DMV Live with MEKA. I am your host, MEKA. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all are having a beautiful week. It's another Thankful Thursday, and you all, I have another special guest in the building. This guest is a little, dear to my heart, I must say. You ever met somebody and their light was so bright and their work ethic was so sincere, and their crown never seemed to tilt, let alone begin to fall. So much so that you were so impressed that you had to hear more about that person's story. Ever been there? Well, this person definitely fits the mold for that. She is none other than the style director for the movie Stronger. If you haven't seen the film, make sure you do. It's on Fawsome right now. Check it out. She is also the owner and proprietor of the Urban Freshery. She is a stylist. She's a mentor. She's a personal shopper if you need one. And I must say, honestly, she's an amazing, beautiful Black woman. Miss Tina Roper, welcome to the building.
Thank you, MEKA.
Thank you for joining me. I love you so much. You're so amazing. Like, truly, there's nobody like you. Just to see you in action is so impressive. I don't know if you really realize how you come across, because we can't see ourselves.
Right.
We see each other. We can see pictures of ourselves. We can catch reflections, but we never really see ourselves. So it takes other people to kind of, give us a little glimpse. And sometimes you got to believe the greatness that other people see, because it's undeniable when it comes to you, I must say.
Likewise.
I appreciate you. And my baby also loves you, I have to say. Shout out from London.
I love her too. Shout out, London. I love you. That's my girl.
So, Tina, all right. So, for the people that don't know, we're going to go through your story on this show. This is Lavish Conversations. We have conversations with inspiring people on why existing is not enough. The whole goal of Lavish Conversations is simply to amplify the voices of the inspirational people that we all are in our own rights, And so, Tina, tell me, who was little Tina? Up in New York. In New York. Who's the
Oh
little
my
Tina?
gosh, what a question. Huh. Well, little Tina was pretty much like big Tina, except she cried a lot. But I still was the same optimistic person,
Mhm.
believing in the best of everyone,
Oh, that's good.
cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
So, had
Mhm.
major trust issues my whole entire life, but I'm a sucker. I always want to see what's going to happen. I've always been a people person, very protective of people in my circle, and always want the best for everyone. So I think I'm pretty much the same. I'm just better dressed now because I get to dress myself,
Mm.
you know.
So see, that's okay. So tell me. Was fashion always the passion for you?
It's so funny. I did not know it was, but it was. I've always been drawn to clothing that doesn't look like what everyone else is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting as a New Yorker, because as a New Yorker, we are labeled whores. I
Yeah.
admit it. I don't mind it. I'm Yves Saint Laurent down right now. But, when I was young, I always wanted to do something just a little different. Bleach my own pants, cut on my own clothes. And I'm old.
Yeah.
So this was
You're
before
not old
everyone was doing
by
it.
far. You're not old by far. But yes, I know what you mean. Because I definitely showed up at school. I was always outside of that box. I always like to say, God didn't break the mold when he made me. He just didn't use one. I was a freeform type, but he just poured something out and was like, I'm going to call that MEKA. Right there, So do you feel like you just got poured out and you just were Tina from the beginning?
I do. One of my best friends, my best friend, her name is Chantel. And I know that she's on a cruise, so she's not seeing this now. But we had this big argument because I bought a pair of sneakers, some Keds. Nobody's wearing Keds back then. Everybody's wearing like the 54 11s or the Jordans, even shell top Adidas, I guess. But I bought these Keds and they didn't have laces. They had Velcro. And she hated those damn shoes, and I love those shoes. Got to an argument over the fact that I was like, no, I love these shoes. So I've
so
always
was it that
been
they were Keds, or was it the fact that they had those Velcros?
I think she didn't like the Velcro. I don't know. Then we got into an argument over I had a pair of Lottos.
Oh,
and
I remember
you
those.
can change the.
Yes, the things in the
She did that. She was not, but she was very fashionable. Her mother always bought her the latest in fashion. My grandmother, even though my grandmother was a business owner, she owned a beauty parlor and she owned a diner. She did not spend her money on our clothing. She's like, this is your money, you better make it work.
So entrepreneurship was already in you from the beginning. It's something that was instilled in you as a child then, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me, what were your thoughts or how were your feelings as a young child with an entrepreneur in the family? What were your parents doing, may I ask?
So that's a good question. I was reared by my father's mother.
Okay.
I did not meet my mother.
Shout out to the grandmas.
And yeah, she was the best. I didn't meet my Annie Mae Roper. I'll give her whole name for everyone.
Annie Mae Roper.
I met my biological mother when I obviously I met her when I was born, but I couldn't remember that. But she did not have the means to take care of me. She also was married at the time. And so essentially I was raised by my father's mother.
Wow.
And it was wonderful. She had a house in Queens. Contrary to popular belief, for those in DC who don't know, we do have grass in New York. If you've only been to Manhattan, we had big trees. I had a big weeping willow in the backyard. What? She sent us to private school. And I say us because my cousin also lived with me and my grandmother. Okay. So it was the three of us.
So that was like your sibling then.
She calls me sister cousin right now.
Oh, I love that. Shout out to the sister cousins and really shout out to the people that pour love in the extended families as they need to, where necessary. Because, honestly, it obviously paid off. I'm just saying. Great job.
And shout out to all my cousins because I love them all. Like I have a million.
Shout out to all the cousins.
I love them.
Yes, we can't forget the other cousins. Definitely.
Too many to name, but I love them all.
Okay, so when did you actually reconnect with your mom? Did you have an opportunity to reconnect with your mom?
I did. I was grown. I probably was, let's see, if my daughter, maybe she was 8. So maybe I was 25, I don't know, 24, 25, 26. And she was that because I always had a relationship with her parents.
Right.
So both of my parents suffered from addiction. Okay. And so I have siblings on both sides. But at the time, my siblings through my mother, they lived, my 2 sisters at the time, my brother wasn't born yet, I don't think, they lived with my mother's mother. And so I would always go over there and spend holidays like Easter, Christmas, right. They were really loving as well, and I love my sisters too. They're amazing. But my mother was never there. And then one time she was there and it was really nice. I remember. She was really pretty, even with all her issues to me. She was gorgeous, flawless skin and everything. And then once I got older, around 30, she was living in Virginia. And so I had an opportunity to spend time with her then. And, unfortunately, she did pass away. But, it's okay.
But so tell me, in that time, how did it feel? Like, my thing is that life's always going to life, right? I tell people that all the time. That's the whole premise. That's pretty much really why I started even Lavish Conversations, because as you're aware, life lifed in my life, And so when life lifes, I know that we all have this opportunity to decide to either keep just existing or actually start living a purpose-driven life, And I think that happens multiple times throughout our lives. So that can happen to you as a child, as a teenager, as a, adult, as an adult, you know what I mean? It can happen multiple times though in your life, because I feel like that's what gets us awake,
Yeah.
So when would you say is the first time that you remember life lifing in your world, and how did you get yourself back moving? Did you already have faith in your life? How did you do that? What did you do? Tell us about the time and tell us what you did.
That's a good question, because life does life. And I think for me, even though I did not grow up with my mother, my grandmother and her children were very instrumental. I had a very good childhood. And when I was 19 years old, I was at Howard University.
Shout out to HU.
HU, I met some wonderful people at Howard. We all know.
Yes, we know.
And my boyfriend, my high school sweetheart, my first boyfriend ever, he went to Hampton.
Oh, wow.
And so one weekend, I don't know if I was in Hampton or if he was in DC, but some kind of way we made this baby. And so one thing about my family, they are very driven towards success, and I was on this trajectory for success. And at the time, they didn't think that this was a very successful move for me. I don't know. I was 19. I'm in love, I'm like, because my baby daddy's awesome. I don't know if he's listening or not, but I'll tell everybody, he's awesome.
See?
We're not together. We're never going to be together again, but we will always be friends.
Shout out to the co-parents out here. That's healthy right. Co-parents, and I love it. But go ahead.
And that's when life started lifing. I had a baby, and
But so where did you find that strength? Oh my gosh, especially with you being a child who was not necessarily raised by her biological parents. Right. Where did you find that strength? What did you do?
I didn't know how to be a mother, and the only thing I thought was, I just want to be what I think a good mother should be. Reflectively, maybe I didn't make the best choices, but I will tell you this. My strength came from trying to not be what I saw. So to this day, I don't drink, I don't do any drugs, that stuff really surrounded me.
Yes.
And I felt like it impacted me negatively as a person when I was a child. I have a lot of fears, right?
Oh yeah.
Just scared of everything, and drugs are very dark.
Yeah.
So, and when you watch your parent, because my father was president of the household. Shout out to Big Luck Dog.
Shout out.
But he was a severe addict. He was a heroin addict.
Okay.
And so that really impacted me. And I felt very sad for him, but I felt sad for myself as well.
Yeah.
And my grandmother was an alcoholic. She was hardworking. She was a closet alcoholic. So it was very damaging. And I wanted my child to feel like she had someone there with her, and someone who was impactful, and someone she could be proud of.
Yeah.
Someone, whenever she walked and someone said her mother's name, she could smile.
Yeah.
She could feel like nothing but good things were going to come. My reputation as a mother was everything to me. And so I just drew upon those inferences. And then, of course, my grandmother, although she was alcoholic, she was tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, she worked so hard, this little lady, to make sure we had everything.
And see, that's just another testament to the fact that, we all have to remember that addiction is just an illness. It's not a choice that people are making. And that's proof right there, because she was a good person, period. So she had addiction, but she was a good person when it came down to it. I was listening to this thing the other day. You all have to hear this, right? So this lady said, if you meet somebody and they're an 8, right? A solid 8, okay? But then on their worst day, they're like a -10, right? It's way more likely that their true personality, their true center, their true resting person is at that -10. Because an 8 would never act like a -10.
Right.
But a -10 could act like an 8, though, for a day or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, your grandma was, I'm saying, at minimum a solid 8. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely was. She was amazing.
Sound like she might have been 10s across the board. Because remember, she also took you in, you know?
Yes, indeed.
So it's not like she was just handling the requirements she had to.
Yeah, well,
she was also
I have mixed feelings about that too, but
you really
whatever.
Go ahead. We'll talk about it.
I feel like, even though, don't get me wrong, my grandmother was tremendous. There's no me without her for a lot of reasons. But I felt like she loved her son so much she would do anything for him, and I considered myself a part of that anything, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so I don't know necessarily, like, you know, she's like, oh, this is my son's child, then for my son I will take on this child. Right.
So you felt like you were a burden, even if she might not have said it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
I can relate with that. You know, it's funny you say that because I was raised by my parents, but I definitely have different moments in my life where without somebody saying it, they made me feel burdensome. You know? Yeah. I think we need to be careful as adults to, you know, in that sense.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing I never wanted my daughter to feel. I feel like she probably did end up feeling that way, but I never wanted her to feel like she was an option. You know, I'm like, this is unconditional. So she was a spoiled little girl. Wasn't the best mother. Wasn't hard. Like, I didn't beat my kid and all these things. You know, I did the best I could. But emotionally, I don't think I was available as a parent at the age of 19.
I mean, but you were 19 without 19? That guidebook, you know?
That's right. 19, no guidebook, and trying to decipher, like, I have this baby. I had to drop out of college, the best school ever. Her father he was 19 as well. So I'm a couple of months older than him. And then he was incarcerated when she was born, which was another kind of blip, because we didn't, he came from a really good home. The home is still really good. I don't know where I said he came from.
Right.
You know, but he had, bless you, he had some things going on in college where he didn't understand. Like, I understand the lifestyle of not having. We weren't poor, but I understand the lifestyle of being able to go where I want, do what I want, no social media, no cell phones, getting into trouble, any type of trouble you want, you know, seeing drugs in the house, like all of these things. He didn't have that. And I feel like for me, I cannot speak for him, but he searched a little bit for his bad boy image. And unfortunately, being a Black man in Virginia, because he went to Hampton, when he did what he did, it had resounding repercussions. Yeah. And while I showed up for him, it was the first thing he's ever done in life, the first negative thing. I showed up for him, but unfortunately, he still was sentenced. It was just 5 years. But they were really formative because he was my first boyfriend. Yeah. This was my first child.
And he just had a child too. And then you all are teenagers. Like,
it led to my abandonment issues because clearly, you know, I have a lot of abandonment issues.
That makes perfect sense.
And so it made me feel really abandoned. I do understand now, you know, he was living his life. He could not have known, you know, the pitfalls, the ins and outs. And of course, he literally is an amazing person. I can call him anytime for anything and he's going to pick up, and he still prioritizes me as a human.
But so tell me, how did you handle having a newborn at 19? You had to leave Howard
temporarily, yes.
Yeah, to come be a mom real quick. You know what I'm saying? Become a mom, me, real quick. And you at the same time were doing this though alone. So, and then, you know, you didn't have the mom presence per se to be like, okay, my grandbaby, we having a baby type situation. Yeah. How did you handle all that though?
This is a good question because my grandmother did pass away. She never knew I was pregnant.
What?
She passed away before I even got a chance to tell her. And I remember my aunt kept saying, well, tell her, it's Thanksgiving. And I was like, no, I don't want to kill her. And I didn't mean that.
Of course.
But
Thank God you didn't though, because what if you had told her
I would have really felt bad.
Felt like you did something, you know.
And she did. She passed away. But my aunt, she probably didn't know. I have, and you know, it's so funny because hindsight is 2020, right? Looking back on it, it wasn't as severe as I thought it was. Like in my mind, I had this whole, I'm going to be just another girl in the IRT. I'm going to have this baby in somebody's bathroom. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm too scared, you know. And then everybody finds out. And of course, they're disappointed because they have aspirations for me. But what I quickly learned was I can't go by other people's aspirations. And I try not to set my aspirations or limitations on other people. I want you to be who you're going to be. No one is perfect. I'm a good person, far from perfect. Yes, I was young. Yes, I was fucking whatever. Like one person, but it doesn't even matter.
Right.
Yes, I had this baby. Now what do I do about it? And so I had to let my family know, like, I'm still a beast. I still want to do things. I might not be a Howard University student, but I'll go back.
Yeah.
And which I did.
And you did.
And then I dropped out again and graduated from University of Maryland. But I got 5 good years as a Bison honey and as a campus pal. So wonderful experience. Have met a lot of my really good friends, my best friends on that campus. A lot of what I do now, I do it for people I met on that campus. And then I just told myself, you don't want to be a statistic. You don't want to lose more. You don't want to let your family down more. And you don't want to let yourself down more. So I worked 2 jobs and I went to school. I transferred to University of Maryland after I established residency in Maryland. And I completed my undergrad degree. It took me about 6 years to do in total. And then I went to grad school and finished in a year and a half.
That is nothing. You realize how many people it took way more than 6 years and they didn't have a baby at all.
So that's the thing. I never worry about the other people. I'd be like,
that's what I'm talking about, though.
My journey with my blinders, and I let them have theirs. Yep.
Yes, that tunnel focus. It did it. I'm telling you. But that you're a perfect example, because imagine how many people have that exact same start as you, right? That same story. Either whether you want to talk about from childhood or whether you want to talk about being 19 and finding out that they're pregnant. Okay, it's a whole lot of, I mean, when I say a whole lot of, I mean a whole lot of people found out at 19 that they were pregnant. Here's the question, though, and here's where you pivoted, where you had that opportunity to pivot. You see what I'm saying? A lot of those people had the baby, yes, and then stopped their life.
Yeah.
Or they kept their life going, but they're just existing.
Yeah.
Whereas you kept living. And so that's why we're sitting here talking today. We talking about you living.
You can thank DC WIC for that. I had to go down to the WIC office. Unshout out to DC WIC.
Shout out to DC WIC.
I had to go to the WIC office, and
what to do with.
The way they made me feel like such a small and like just insignificant being, I ended up saying, get 2 jobs and take care of your baby.
But tell me about it. The first time you went there, well, you only went down there one time, I'm assuming, after that experience.
Yes.
But so tell me about the experience. What happened?
I felt like, and this was years ago, and my job where I pay my bills was through DC government. I love DC government. And I think they take really good care of DC residents. I will say that forever. I've been there for over 20 years. However, at the time when I had to go to the WIC office, I felt very talked at, very looked down upon, very preached to, do this, you need to do this, you didn't do this, very disregarded, like not even looking me in my face. And I realize now, like when I look at a 19-year-old now, 19-year-old is a child. Right? Yeah. My stepdaughter's 19. She's such the cutest little thing. I always tell her, I say, you're so cute with your little 19-year-old self.
Right.
And her, she's an adult, but to me, she looks like a baby.
Right.
And I'm sure that's the same thing that was happening, but they made me feel, they put me through so many hoops when I got down there, and what I didn't have. I'm from New York. So if DC can make me feel terrible.
Exactly.
I
they can make you feel talked at.
Right, exactly.
I've interviewed people from New York. Like, I'm talking about not interviewed like, oh, I'm interviewing you like we're having a casual, lavish conversation. I mean, for jobs. Like, I'm interviewing you to decide if I'm going to hire you. And they're like, and I'm like, why are you talking to me like this?
I just talk like this.
Like, goodness, but that's just how they speak. But my thing is this, right? So do you, the reason I asked you about that experience is because I don't think it was DC government that had anything to do with
definitely
that. That was a person.
Yes.
That
DC
had
government
to do with the experience you had.
Wonderful.
You feel what I mean?
Yes.
So I ask you to share that because I think it's very important how we all treat one another. You know what I'm saying? Even in our work day, even when we're having a stressful day, remember that every encounter you have is an opportunity for you to shine a little bit of light in somebody else's world that might be very dark. So when you walked in there, you walked into the WIC office, you could have been like, ooh, WIC, ooh, I love milk. Because, that's what they give you most
milk and Cheerios.
Milk and Cheerios
and
with
kicks.
no sugar. Okay?
No sugar.
But you might have been like, yeah, I love milk. I'm going to give me some free milk. Or you might have been in a very dark place and trying to feed yourself and your child and make sure that you could sustain. So that's why I asked you to share that, because that person talking at you could have very well taken a moment to just shine a little bit of softness in your life.
Yeah. Customer service is important. You never know, right? You never know how you affect someone's life. And I think that people don't realize, like, this is your job and you're there day in and day out.
Right.
But the people coming through the door, for some people, this is new to them.
How about that?
I've worked in a lot of customer service positions, high level positions in the district government where I've had to interface. And I make it a point to try to understand them. I'm frustrated. Yes, I am. But so are they. This is why they're in front of me.
Period.
You know?
Right.
And so I try to help as much as I can because of that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's really, really serious. I don't understand why it is that so many people that work in the service industry don't realize that they work in the service industry.
Yeah.
So just because nobody's purchasing something from you,
Right,
doesn't mean that you're not here to serve somebody else. You know?
sign up to be a public servant. I am a servant leader.
Right.
You
Even
know?
in your business. So that brings me to your business, right? So in your business, you're working, you're styling people, and as I'm sure it sounds really, really simple, right? But hold on, but before we go into that, let's go through our chat real quick. Let's give a shout out to not Miss C. Hey, is that CC in the building? Hey, Miss C. Shout out to HU. That's right, Brandy Forte.
You know.
And shout out to not only Brandy Forte, but the film Stronger. If you have not seen the film Stronger, you can catch it now on Fawesome. That's awesome with an F in the beginning. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to download it. You literally, if you have Roku TV, can just go to the app and watch the movie. So watch the film Fawesome this weekend. You have a holiday weekend while you're laid up with the boo.
Yes.
I mean, it's nice. It's a nice little reminiscent of the, poetic justice era. So that's a great opportunity for you to snuggle up with your boo and, enjoy the movie. I'm just saying. Yes. Now, let's see. Oh, love you, T from Brandy Forte.
Happy Rocka. That's my sister.
Yes. From HU, you know. She said, "Yep, the WIC office is whack."
Don't get it. B, don't do it, B.
Yes. Stronger on Fawesome, as we said. Please download. Please go watch Stronger today. You won't regret it. And make sure after you watch it, you go to Instagram to Stronger Films 2025 and let us know what you thought about it. I'd love to hear some feedback. I love it. So now, with regard to your career, Madame,
yes, indeed.
How did you end up doing styling, wardrobing? How did the Urban Freshery come about? Tell us about it. Give us some more.
Yeah, so I became obsessed with style magazines. I love museums. And there's just something poetic in clothing. Clothing is the medium that I choose. I cannot draw to save my life. I can write. I don't want Brandy to make a comment because I've been working on one book for the last 20 years. So can she not, if she makes a comment, delete it, please and thank you. But my medium of choice has always been clothing. I love everything about clothing, the material, the fabrics, the way they hang, the armor. They're like armor.
Yeah.
You clothe yourself and you project this image and then you become that. And so that's how it started. And I was in college and I just wanted every fashion magazine. And then my best friend, the one who we argued about those Keds and those Lottos, she's so funny. I was talking to her one day. We were a lot younger. And I was like, I don't like wearing black. I want to add some color. She was like, well, just add a pop of color. And I tell you now, I have on all black all day today. It takes me time to find all black clothes because my closet is very right. It's once we did this movie, I had to buy some black clothing because obviously to work on a set of a movie, in that capacity, you wear black, so you can blend in.
I didn't know that. That's a good little tidbit for the people. Look at you.
The makeup artist, the stylist,
everybody
the
wears all black.
Yes, they wear all black. The crew, all crew members are in black.
Okay.
And so, but my best friend at the time, she said, Chantel's amazing. She's like, just add a pop of color. She's so bossy but sensitive at the same time. And then I just ran with it, started doing color, and then I was working for a high-level executive in DC government, and she had an event, and she said, I really like the way you dress. Can you dress me? And I said, okay. Now, this really started, if Cece is still on, when I first started delving into styling people and shopping, Cece, I feel like Cece was always going on vacation. But I remember this one time she was going on vacation and she asked me to style her for the vacation. And so we laid out everything, the clothing, the jewelry, and it started from there. I loved it. And then I started meeting people. I grew clientele from word of mouth. And I have some awesome clients who I dress. And Brandy Forte, B, She was one of them. She had to do her publicity photos for her book.
Oh.
I think it was for Stronger. I think
Mhm.
she'll correct me if I'm wrong, but and that was so much fun. And then I've just always been in there. She's one of my difficult clients.
That's oh yeah, no, I can imagine. Now
She don't like anything. Oh my
I've
goodness.
shopped with her before. Yes, I can imagine her as a client, and she says how she feels.
She's a real boss. She's
yeah,
a real boss.
Yeah, like she's not pretending at all.
Mhm.
There's nothing pretend about it. But so tell me, with regard to the film. Now you really, for those of you who haven't seen the film, when you see it, you'll notice that there is nothing undeniably outside of DC in this film. This film is all DC. So if you love DC, you're gonna love Stronger. I'm just saying, because it just gives you DC. It gives you that essence of the city. You feel what I'm saying? And the kicker is this, right? She had to find all of the wardrobing, and she's from New York. So what was that like? Like, where'd you start with that even? How'd that go for you? I know we've talked about some of it, but for the people that don't know.
Yeah, I started with the executive producer, Ms. Forte.
Yes.
And what we did was we went through the script. And the way the script is written, the script was written beautifully. And it gave me a lot of clues as to how each character should dress. And then I met with some notable store owners in the DC area, and they gave me some advice, because originally I wanted to do a period piece. I wanted to relegate it to the times the years that it actually occurred.
Right.
And it was suggested to me, don't do that, because you'll date the movie.
Yes.
And then it also was hard to find the wardrobe for that, because we still had a budget, a very modest budget. Hopefully when we do the full-length feature, I'll have a bigger budget, but I'm just saying. And so I ended up thinking about it, and I said, we can make it really like we won't tie it to any time period, make it timeless. And then we were really blessed and fortunate. And I think Ray and Brandy reached out to the museum, and we were able to get a sponsorship from the museum for one of the cast members' wardrobe. So that really helped a lot, and it helped me frame DC, because it was very important for me, because I am from New York.
Yeah.
I wanted this to be authentically DC. I didn't want it to look like somebody who plays around in DC but doesn't know DC, because I've been in DC for 30 years. And one thing as a New Yorker that I love about DC is the support that DC folk lend to local brands.
You better say
Never
that.
seen anything like this before. Madness,
Yeah.
DDTP, you know, all of that. When I came, I was like, they just wearing these clothes from these strange shops. Nobody's wearing Gucci.
Right.
Nobody knows who Louis Vuitton is. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I learned that.
Grab some shooters just as fast.
Shooters, yes. And me too. I have some shooters outfits that I really love. And I felt like I wanted people to understand, because to me, that's part of the essence of DC that I don't think people understand. DC people are really supportive of DC brands, and that means a lot.
That's very true. That is very true. And we have our own sense of style, even though, you know, there are multiple things that we, you know, wear, or, you know, whatever that other places wear, but I think it's the way we wear it. I think it's what we pair it with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could see some, you know, Gucci and some shooters. You could see some DDTP and some, you know what I mean? Louis
DC
Vuitton.
clothing is a lifestyle.
It really is.
When I thought about the characters, I thought about what each character would wear and how it would be reflective of their lifestyle. And for this character in particular, for the character, I just want to call him Juan, but for the main character, I wanted to make sure that people understood, like, he's DC homegrown. Like, he's out there. He's in the streets. This is like he's known, like, this is him. You know, and he's unapologetically himself. You know, there's nothing phony about him. Nothing trying to be. You know, he just is who he is. And I felt like the local brands really personify that.
Yeah, that's key to DC. I'd like to give a shout out to all of our local brands.
Yes.
Shout out for definitely supporting this movie, because that just says something about the home love that everybody tries to question our home love whole time. Whereas it's like,
it's there.
We could be a little picky, but we definitely show love. You know, I mean, I say I get love, and I show love. So maybe it's about that. Maybe we need to show more love.
I agree. We need to show more love. I definitely do. And the museum showed us a great amount of love when we showed up there and said who we were. They were so ingratiating, Like, yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
That speaks volumes. That's
Yep.
that customer service again.
Yes.
And in that situation, now their brand is being highlighted.
Yep.
They didn't know what the film was going to do, though, when
Right.
they originally signed on. They
Right.
just were agreeing, you know, to put their money behind
Yep.
Black business.
And now we've
Black
been to
local
LA,
business.
New York, what else?
Yes, we've been in LA,
We're
New
taking a
York,
tour.
we've been to Virginia. Look, we out here winning awards. We were stronger is doing the doggone thing. Look, I'm like I wrote the movie. I didn't write the movie. All I did
Strong
was
is quite
carpet.
strong.
I did the carpet, but you know, that's family now, you know.
Well, Brandy says she's gonna profit off her pain. I know that's right.
And as you should, she said she's gonna turn her pain into champagne.
That's
and I
right.
think that's
Yes,
a great
that's it.
testimony. Turning that pain into champagne. We all need to take a page
Absolutely.
from that book. Now, before we go any further, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. The sponsor of the show is the Fort Lauderdale Fiesta. If you're going this year, honey, you need to be on your way because the party starts tomorrow and they're already in Florida now. So get to getting. I'm just saying. If you need information, though, if you're already there, check celebrityfiesta.com for updates. I believe there may be some changes in venue. If so, though, the updates will be listed there, I am certain. So make sure you check it out. Now, Brandy Forte, first off, I didn't tell you, she said wardrobe director is Tina Princess Roper, excellent stylist.
Thank you, B.
And we got some applause from Miss CC up in the building because she's here still. And Brandy Forte said, thanks to an awesome team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely put together a magical team. Let me tell you all something. Who you surround yourself with definitely speaks volumes. You know how your mama used to say, well, you know what I mean. You know how your mama used to say, birds of a feather flock together, right? Yes. Now tell me about the birds that flock around you, because you got some eagles. If these are birds of any sort, I'm just
my
saying,
best friend Lamont would love that. He loves
you definitely,
eagles.
Yeah, you got some fly like an eagle type of surrounding, and that's how we met. You know, we met through the film. And Brandy is another person who has a flock of eagles around her. She's definitely a great person, like you said. She's just a boss. I don't mean because she's just picky or very specific about what she wants, but she's a boss. She's strong. She's direct, she's kind, you know what I mean? She's intentional, kind. She's pure-hearted, and so how is it that you found yourself, with so many eagles flying around you?
Yeah, I think that you can agree to this. I think it's just the energy, because now we did not know each other at all, right?
Right.
So we show up to this place and we're tasked we have our own individual tasks, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, we have to get everything ready, because I don't know if people know this about red carpets and movies, but listen here, honey. It might look glamorous when you're standing in your gown with your microphone and I'm dressed in my feather stuff and we have on our heels, but we put that together. So we're in sneakers and stretch pants and we didn't know each other. And you came in your gown, and so if I remember, so did London. She was so beautiful, and you guys took no time and just started helping me like you knew me forever. And the energy was it was so pure.
That's what it was.
It was
our
so
spirit,
pure.
Our spirit already knew your spirit, and your spirit was trying to get the job done. And we know that there is no I in team, and you were trying to put up a backdrop of red carpet and all the
my 5'2" self trying to
little teeny self just picking up all types of doing manual labor.
Brandy's gonna get here and be mad. That's all I'm thinking. But I don't want people to think Brandy's a monster, because she's not. But I do like things to be ready.
Excellence. I was about to say, in ourselves, and so therefore I
don't want to let her down. Because she works really hard and she trusts us with a lot. And so that was very important to me. And you guys jumped right in, and I think that's the same for everyone around me. I am just me. I don't care. I'm a square. I'm a geek. I don't smoke. I don't drink any of these things, and I really do not care. I don't care if that's your thing, but it's not my thing. And in my life, I don't try to make myself fit. That's how I am where I am. So the puzzle pieces just come together. And so you guys have been a part of my puzzle. And this is just everywhere I am. People talk how people don't like them. And then I don't even know who doesn't like me, because I don't deal in them. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. If you've let me know that I'm not for you, then you don't have to worry about me. It's okay.
If I even get an inclination, let me tell you, if I even get a vibe that you think I'm not your cup of tea, or I'm not your whatever, I will That's right on up.
That's
No
right.
words are needed. We don't need to go back and forth about it. You don't mess with me. And guess what? I am okay with that.
Because everybody's not for everybody. And I'm not a gossiping type. Like I totally do not like gossip like that. Just like let people be who they are. People are dealing with their own issues.
Right.
You know, and projection is real.
Yeah.
And so if you feel so strongly that you need to project that energy toward me, and I know the type of person that I am or that I try to be, then I just have to accept that you are not where I am.
Yeah.
It's not good or bad.
Yeah.
We're like magnets.
Yeah.
We just repel, and that is fine. You have your space, and I have mine.
That's right.
And so I feel bad for this generation because they only know social media.
Yeah.
And I always tell people when we were younger, there was no social media. So if people didn't like you in school, it didn't matter when you got home.
Right.
Because you were only around your friends when you got home. I don't care if you don't like me in school. That's just 6 hours out of my day.
You better say that. Oh my gosh, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Now let me tell you, the kicker for me is, we've had some experiences. You remember with London and everything.
Yes.
In California. Shout out to Brandy again for that.
Yes.
and to Tina and Cece, everybody who kept my mind together. But speaking of that social media situation, that for those that don't know, there were, so nowadays, when somebody wants to threaten you, they don't just threaten you.
Right.
They go online and they threaten you to everybody, and they're, announcing to everybody, oh, it's coming for you, it's on today, or whatever. And so my daughter dealt with a situation like that, as you know, and when London dealt with that, it's so difficult because not only is there a matter of, oh, you might fight, okay, that's one thing, but then for some reason this generation loves jumping people. We thought that was so whack. Remember, we were like, oh, you a Bama if you jumping people. Well, y'all might not have said that.
Well, we didn't say Bama.
Yeah, not Bama, but whatever y'all said y'all were, but you all know, like you were. That was a Bama if you got to jump somebody. But now you got to go meet people to make sure your people don't get jumped and all types of stuff like that. Or if you beat them up, are they going to come back and try to do something to harm you worse? Like
you and your family.
And your family, right. What happened?
Yeah. My heart hurts for the youth. It's interesting because right outside of this building, there are some young men who are trying to make their money selling their oils. So they stopped me. And I sat there, talked to them, bought my oil and everything. Because I understand what we all remember. We're not that old that we don't remember what it's like to be a teenager trying to find your place. And we've all, have probably done some things when we were younger that as we got older, we're like, I can't even believe I did that.
Exactly.
And I think that they have such a tremendous amount of pressure to do the wrong thing. I just don't understand it. My heart hurts for them. And I like to just give them good energy, support them however I can.
I was trying to find their name because, you already know my personality. Yeah. So, I've already met them at other places. I've seen them at Chipotle. Yes. I got their information. I was trying to find his name so that I could give them a shout out. So I'll try to find that when
they're right out there.
Take a little break.
He sold me an oil. I asked him, he said, excuse me, miss, before you go get your food, do you mind supporting us? And they're teenagers. They were teenagers. And I'm so like, sweet. Of course, they are very sweet. It's 3 of them. And they strategically don't try to bombard you. Like I ain't never gonna be scared of no kid, but I understand that they realize that some people might be.
That's right.
And so they were selling it to me, and I asked them for certain oils. You found it?
It's TK of the South Oil. So TK of the South Oil. So let me tell you all, I saw them outside of Chipotle.
Yes.
Same situation. But it was like 90-something degrees outside. Yeah. So like, I'm not even willing to work in 90-degree weather. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That in itself caught me. But then they were, like she said, they try not to bombard you. Right. Like one person will approach you, but they're very much so like when you come out, they don't ask you to buy it before you go in. Yep. Before you go in, they say when you come out, if you get a chance and you have the money, can you check out my oils? Like that type of situation. I think that's so dope. Yeah. But so I'm gonna put their name at the bottom so you all can check them out. Also, let's see, Brandy Forte.
What did Brandy say?
She gave us some hands up. Yay. And she said, oh my gosh, yes.
I'm so blind I can't even see. But they were remarkable.
She said, you guys are so efficient. She's talking about us putting up the backdrop and the red carpet together.
I tell her don't talk about that.
We got it done, didn't we, B? I mean, you would look up one moment, it was nothing. And then you look up again and we got a whole setup up there, right? I'm just saying.
Oh boy, the memories.
Right, and then you look up again and Tina has on 6-inch heels and this little teeny dress or something. Oh, she said Mika is the best red carpet host.
Yes, you are.
You.
Yes,
you all know my new tagline is I'm your favorite red carpet host, right? Because I think I'm your favorite.
You are. You are.
I am? Thank
yes,
you.
You are.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I appreciate you so much. Yes, because I will help do the manual labor if need be. Don't get it twisted, okay?
Yes.
And then I will still be amazing for my carpet.
Yes, indeed. Right, because you're like okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I never forget this, and I think this is so cute because I almost wore my necklace today, and you know the one I'm talking about.
Necklace,
You guys, I bought this necklace, right?
Yeah.
And it's pink diamonds, and I just thought it was the cutest thing, and it's hearts. All the diamonds are heart shaped, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna wear this to the red carpet. I'm thinking I'm doing big things. The stones are very small in there, and then I see Meek on the red carpet with what I thought I was getting. I was like, so today when I picked my necklace, I said, yeah, this is if you're on Instagram, Harper J Vintage.
Oh.
She creates these unique pieces. They're all authentic. She repurposes some of the hardware from designer brands, and then
really?
and I love her. I don't know if Jody, well, her name is Jody, but her store is Harper J Vintage, if she will see this, but she's amazing. Harper J Vintage, she does repurposes authentic pieces, and this is an authentic Yves Saint Laurent necklace. I bought this from her maybe 5-6 years ago. It's still beautiful. I have so many pieces from her: Chanel earrings and Yves Saint Laurent bracelet.
Really?
That's
really a dope idea, though, using the hardware.
Yeah.
To, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make
She's amazing.
Other jewelry.
She's
I put
amazing.
the oil guys information at the bottom, you guys, in case anybody wants to check them out. Just make sure you follow them on Instagram, even if you don't, know that those are the same oil guys. But I think they're such sweet young kids, and I think they're really trying to do something good.
Even when they didn't have what I needed, I said, well, tell me what you have that people like. Is it the ambers? And he was like, the ambers do well, but I have this other one, and he sold me one. I'll look for this in my bag. But it smells good. And I said, you take Cash App. And it was so funny because the other young man said, she don't have Apple Pay. She don't have Apple Pay. And then I said, I don't even have an iPhone. He said, I know. I looked at the back of your phone.
God, she don't have Apple Pay.
I'm like, I don't have an iPhone. I call those Fed phones. So good luck to all you guys with iPhones.
Forget you. They probably are Fed phones. Because my phone was just listening to me the other day, and I definitely was not talking to it. I won't say what its name is, but I was not talking to it. While we're giving shout outs, I also want to give a shout out to Manny Cuts on Instagram. Manny Cuts is a student at Largo High School, and he's a young man who's going around cutting hair. He cuts hair at school. He cut the principal's hair. He's doing his doggone thing. And I'm gonna have him come on here and talk about his story.
I saw an article on
his
him,
trajectory. Did you?
I think
he's
so.
been doing a great job.
I think it was him.
He's been doing a great job. Everybody definitely follow Manny Cuts. Also, MANICUTS. Manny Cuts, and follow the oil guys. I don't know their name, but the name of the IG is below.
I think it's important to support people, just like the young men, but even like Harper J Vintage. I love to support businesses that I come across on Instagram. I buy clothes. It's just a way to help people.
J Vintage?
Yeah, Harper J Vintage.
Okay,
she is super dope. And they make great gifts too. Like if you have a man in your life and you want to get some nice cufflinks that no one else will have.
Really?
She wraps it so beautifully.
Oh,
I'm such a fan. And when I first started, this is why this is how the internet is used for good. Mm-hmm. There's her, and there's another young lady, Gucci Kind of Day. Her name is Tina also. That's cute. And I used to inbox them all the time. So if you go on Harper J Vintage now, she has a lot of followers. But when everything first started, I asked her, how do you do this? How do you take the pictures? Because I was starting to sell on my Poshmark page.
Right.
And she told me how to set everything up. I still have the inboxes from her. There are good people in this world
who are not thinking about gatekeeping, right?
Yes. And she was just beautiful.
Because
I love
here's
her.
the kicker. Me turning your light up a little bit doesn't do anything to darken mine in the least bit. It just makes mine look brighter even more. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you go to the club, right? Have you ever had this group of people, right? You're about to go to the club. There's this one person though, and they're like, you're like, these jeans don't look right. I need to change these jeans. And they're like, you're fine.
Oh yeah.
But everybody knows the jeans don't look right, right? Everybody knows the jeans don't look right. They were waiting for you to recognize it. But yet this one person just wants you so badly to go out, just, on like 70% instead of 100, just because she thinks that'll kick her up to 100. That's not how it works.
I think as a stylist, I have my own opinions about things like that.
Go ahead.
And I do feel, because I'm quirky and I'm gonna always wear what I want to wear. And I feel like if I think that there's an issue with, like, if your tag is out, or if skin is hanging out, if it's hugging a roll, I might say something. But if you like it and it's just not my cup of tea, then I love it. I'm like, well, if you like that, because I'm gonna tell you, like, I like those kids and those lottos. My best friend's
you
like,
ew. Stop playing with those lottos. Lottos were like that. Okay, let me just tell your best friend. Where's the camera? Let me tell you, lottos were like that. I had a pair, and I like changing the little triangle little things on the side of them to match my little outfits and stuff. I thought I was killing the people.
She was the most stylish person I ever knew, and she could not. I can't believe we argued over that. We have not had a lot of arguments in our life, but all the arguments we've had has been so dumb. Like, I'm like, how am I not talking to you over a pair of sneakers with Velcro?
Not y'all were not talking though.
We didn't talk for like 3 whole days.
Well, now, okay, I know you're close by, right? You've of course been to Iverson Mall, the happening place. But but I try to bring all of my guests. I miss a few guests here and there. So for the people I miss, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's charged to my head and not my heart. You know what I'm saying? But I brought you a cupcake from the lovely, place up front, Pro Cakes. I didn't get it from the other one because, of course, if there's a Black business beside another
of course
business, I gotta support the Black business.
Did they give me a fork?
It's a cup. No, it's a cupcake. I don't think people.
Sure, I have one in my purse.
Oh my gosh, this is a lady. She's a lady.
Well, I don't want to. I want to eat it
like that. That's how I eat my cupcakes, like this. It's great.
I got it. We're talking. I want to eat it.
Yeah,
I don't want my bag to make all this noise.
That would be much more dainty. Yeah, don't show them what all is in the bag, please. But
told you I'm Yves Saint Laurent down, but this bag is full of
everything else.
It's the Yves Saint Laurent roadie, so it holds everything.
Oh, see.
Oh, here's the oil that I bought from a young man. It's called Mad About You.
Mad About You.
Yeah, it smells great, so I thank them.
Wait, let me try it. Let me smell it. Let's see. It's Mad About You.
Here's my shoe. I bought shoes off white.
It smells good. No, wait, hold up. Show us the shoe. What shoe did you just pull out of here?
Jimmy Choo and Off-White. I had to wear rain boots because it started raining, but I wanted to come in. I'm short, so I wanted to bring.
What rain boots do you got on right now?
Off-White. So again, Virgil Abloh, and these boots are from the Virgil Abloh times, and so are the Jimmy Choo's. It does, right? He recommended that to me. But yeah, I'm always gonna support the culture.
I love that. though. I think the reason I asked you about your shoes, of course, is because I think it's so hilarious. Like you said earlier, you are a true stylist. Like, you're not a label whore. You're a stylist. Like, it's not about the name. It's about because about the functionality.
I do have some other things that are not designed, like these dollar store earrings, or not dollar store, beauty supply store.
That's the same.
3 pair
You're not getting those from
for $3.
3 pair for $3?
Yeah, the big ones on the hoop. Love them. Let's see.
What beauty supply store was she at? Because they've been gaffling the ones I've been to lately.
The one by the Burger King, on Silver Hill Road.
Oh, okay. Let me find out.
That's my favorite.
Let me find out. So yes, you have to let us know how the cupcake is hitting. So
what kind is this?
It's a snickerdoodle cupcake.
Oh, it's nice.
Of course, if you're at Iverson Mall, you have to have a snickerdoodle, right?
Yes.
So it's a snickerdoodle cupcake.
And you said they're Black owned?
Yeah, and they put brown sugar in their snickerdoodles. That's the difference between them and the place next door to them.
Okay, because the whole world should know I can't cook, so I don't know.
You don't cook?
No.
Well, it's
not even fun to me.
The chef from there is supposed to be coming on the show next month. Also, you guys,
tell them this is delicious.
Should I tell them who I'm trying to get on my show?
Of course.
I'm trying to get Chef Anthony, DC. You know,
chef
that's been popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him to come on my show and talk about his story. So I am so excited because we have some things in the work, and hopefully that will come to fruition.
It will
soon. I'm really excited about that. I also have a bunch of red carpets that I've been doing lately, and then I'm doing a birthday party coming up soon. So I'm excited about that. I'm not going to say whose birthday party, but it's a birthday party.
Yay.
And it should be definitely amazing.
Happy birthday. It's got to be Brandy's birthday.
Huh? But so anyway, if you all are interested, as we were speaking of booking me for your red carpet needs, please feel free to reach out to MEKA at Lavish Conversations. freshery.com. We also have another Black business owner that just walked in the building. Before you put your jacket on, you want to come give a shout out to yourself on my show? And tell everybody who you are and what you got going on. Come on over. I catch everybody off the humble. Welcome, welcome. Tell the people your name and what you do. You have to get down here. Welcome to the building.
Need for y'all.
Welcome to the building.
Hi everybody. I am Jeff Lyles. I am a photographer / videographer. I have my own business on Instagram. It is chosen.witness.photography. Right now I am running a free business shoot for the month of May. I am also still running a discounted Mother's Day shoot for the rest of the month of May. So if you want, just either DM me. My work email is also on the page as well. Reach out. I do way more than just photography and videography. So whatever you want to do, I'm ready to work. That's how I roll.
And you are chosen.witness.photography, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I have it at the bottom of the screen for everybody who is interested. Please definitely check him out. As he said, he has some specials going. Specials don't last for long. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
Get on board, little children, before there isn't room for many more.
Okay. I just put in a request because his page is very private.
Yes, he does have a private page, so you will have to request, but he will approve it quickly. So, get on there. Now, back to Miss Tina Roper. Now, Miss Tina Roper, with regard to the Urban Freshery, what is the mission of the Urban Freshery, and how did you get it formulated?
Yes, so the Urban Freshery was born to show that you can have luxury without paying those prices. I do believe in sustainable fashion. When you think about, you see these Save the Planet boxes, and we put clothes in there thinking that we're doing something good.
Right.
These clothes are going to third world countries and they're just washing up on the beach. We're not really doing good, for the environment.
Right.
And I feel like when you have designers that are brands that transcend time, such as, like I said, this Yves Saint Laurent Rhodey bag.
Yeah.
It probably came out in the early 2000s. It's always going to be a lovely bag.
Yeah.
These off-white boots. I believe in the sustainability factor of fashion.
Right.
I think it's important. And then some people, we want to be stylish, and I don't have a problem wearing off-season stuff because I mean it's my money.
Right.
So I don't see. Karl Lagerfeld never called me up and said, Tina, we have this new 2.55 Chanel bag, we want you to wear it.
Right.
So since I'm spending my money, and I want that look, I do believe in the sustainability factor. And so the Urban Freshery was one where I was working out with my best friend Lamont, and I was like, yes, I wanted to do urban fresh. And he was like, why don't you just call it the Urban Freshery? And that's how it was born, because I'm very urban. I love hip hop music. And, I love the culture. I love the clothes. I love the art. I love everything that has to do with hip hop. And I love the way it marries into high fashion now. Like Dapper Dan is just I've been loving Dapper Dan since I was a little kid. I'm so proud to watch him. Misa, all of these people who really fuse the culture with high fashion. And so I just wanted a place where you can come and kind of buy some pieces. You can be young or old, but you can buy some pieces without having to spend $8,000 on a purse, because I'm not going to spend 4 times my mortgage on a purse ever. It just doesn't
and
work
there's
for
a lot
me.
of people that don't have $8,000 for a purse, but still want to enjoy.
And baby, don't waste that credit card, because those interest rates are no joke.
Yeah, for real.
So I that's where it was born, and it was mostly because it's what I like. And it was a no risk type of business, because everything originated from my closet initially. I have a few clients who in the beginning I was selling for them. And so that worked out too, so when I sell for you, I do take a cut, not a massive cut, because I do understand you're already not going to make but so much money. And so that's just how I was born. I know a lot of fashionable people. I love the classic pieces.
So where do people reach out to you if they want to purchase something from the Urban Freshery, or they want to work with you?
Yes. So the gold metal shopper, the @gold_metal shopper.
Go to your Instagram.
Go to my Instagram, and it has all of the information there. We are also hosting a pop-up shop on June 22nd. Yes, and it's going to be at Mix in Hyattsville.
At Mix?
Yeah, MIXT.
Okay.
In Hyattsville.
MIXT.
I'm saying for your pop-up shop, do you
want to take it? Well, accept my friend request and I'm going to inbox you.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, I love when everything comes together. That's
beautiful. How it always works. Though,
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the energy. You see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just good energy.
Exactly.
It's just what it is.
Okay, now I put
And
the
good
mix
cupcakes.
on here, but that is when? June the what?
It's June 22nd.
June 22nd.
And it's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And you can get tickets. I know I'm saying tickets, but the tickets are free. But it's just on Eventbrite so that you receive reminders and everything about it. But I'll be there and I'll have a lot of my wares. It'll be a very curated selection.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And there'll be some other vendors there with me as well.
Oh, dope.
And so we just plan to, we just want to have fun and make things available, right, to people who want them. And there'll be various prices and various goods. It's not going to be like, oh my God, everything in here is Gucci, Louis, and Fendi.
Right.
No, there'll be other things, but because mostly I want to give you things that look good.
Yeah, and I think that's way more important. I'm sorry, but I remember even back in the day, not even just back in the day, but I've dated a few label whores, you know what I mean? And
I love all the label whores, don't get me wrong.
I love labels, but I don't love a label whore per se. It's kind of like you like girls that like boys, but you don't like girls that are boy crazy. You know what I mean? So, like, I'll wear whatever. Like you said, I wear what I like. Exactly. It doesn't matter who made it. I don't care if your mama made it. I'm going to wear it if I like it. You know what I mean? Right. But I think part of that in my world comes from, so my uncle was a designer or is a designer. Are you still a designer, Uncle Kenny?
Once a designer, always a designer.
But Uncle Kenny used to design clothes for Patti LaBelle back in the day, right? Yes. So maybe to me, I think in my world, it's just like, yeah, you make stuff in the living room and you wear what you want to wear. Like, you know what I mean? Type of thing. And that's how I've always operated. Yeah. So I remember showing up at Walker Mill Middle School. Shout out to all the people that, didn't laugh at me and the people that did for that matter. Because it toughened your girl up. But
that's why you know how to rock a ball gown.
That's why I know how to rock a ball when nobody else can be dressed up. Everybody else can have on jeans and tennis shoes. And I still show up with my ball gown like overdressed too. Where? And do my interviews. You know what I mean? But I think that's because back then, when I showed up with this green leg, one pant leg green and one pink and one, orange and whatever else and poker chips glued to my pants and stuff, I was tripping, girl. But I was definitely expressive,
Yeah, trend setting. You were setting trends.
But, that's what made me so upset when they came out with all of the uniforms in schools. So what did you think as a stylist about uniforms in schools?
It's interesting. I went to private school for elementary school and junior high school, and we didn't wear uniforms. So, and then by the time I went to high school, went to public school, so I never wore a uniform.
No, you know how it is
but
now.
Yes, my daughter.
Yeah.
When she had to wear uniforms, because we're very expressive in her clothing too. Like I've always been for the culture. So when Rockaware was first introduced, I dressed her in Rockaware for kids, baby fat for kids. Like I'm sending you to school in the culture, baby.
Yeah.
You know, and she had to wear uniforms. And at first it was like, why? But I am not against uniforms because I also know what it feels like. Like I said, my grandmother had businesses, but she did not. That's not how she spent her money. We would not get in Jordans. I cut holes in a pair of my sneakers just so I can get new ones once.
Did it work?
It did, but I thought she was going to kill me.
Girl, I went a whole winter with no coat, thinking that my mother was going to buy me another one because it was snowing and everything outside. Like, surely you're not going to let me go to the bus stop with no coat on.
She's like,
my mother and my father. Like, girl, get over yourself. Yes. You got a coat enough. Yep. I'm not buying you another one.
Yep. So I understand.
But she did buy you some more shoes. Though.
She did that time. But she said, I don't understand how this shoe got a hole in it. And you could tell, I'm sure at the time, like I was clearly naive. Yeah, I'm sure she could tell that I cut a hole in it with a kitchen knife. But, so I understand what it feels like. And that's literally how I started doing my own thing, right? Like if I could get these shoes on sale and then put big ribbons in them, or if I can just bleach my own pants and cut them up, or if I can just take my shirt and cut off a sleeve, if I can do these things just to stand out. But so I understand what it's like when you can't afford what everybody else is wearing, but you want to fit in. I never, fitting in has never been my thing. Like I've always been, I don't want to say a fit in person, but people my people are with me. So whoever I don't rock with, I don't even know.
My assessment of you would be more so that you don't fit in. You're like one of those people that stands out, but you're supposed to stand out.
Especially when you give me all this sugar.
Right. Let me tell you though, my favorite line of any song, I don't think anything's topped this since, because it just resonated so much in me. When Megan Thee Stallion, yes, I am quoting Megan Thee Stallion. When Megan Thee Stallion said, "I don't stand outside because I'm too outstanding," I said, "Well, Dad, how she know? Who told her?" You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like she was speaking from my spirit. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't want to say what my favorite rap line is then.
Tell me yours.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's always in my mind when I do things.
Pops in your head first. Which one?
We don't pay admission and the bouncers don't check us in. We walk around the metal detectors and there really ain't no need for a VIP section. That's how I feel about life. I'm like, I don't check in. What are you talking about? I come in.
That was a good one. So I don't check in. I come in. That's right. I like that. Definitely.
Yes.
So, okay. So as you know, we are on wearegogomusic.com. So I asked everybody, what is the first go-go song you remember hearing? Who exposed you to it, and what was your feeling? Give me
I love this question. Okay, so I am from New York.
Yes.
I came here, and there was this go-go song, "Run Joe, Run Joe." The police won't let you go, from Uncle Chuck.
Yeah.
And so I love Chuck Brown for a lot of reasons, and there's this one reason. Like I said, I've been working for DC government for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. When I kind of first started, maybe my first 5, 6, or 7 years, I was working for DDOT, District Department of Transportation, and we were in the Reeves Center. And so Chuck Brown was in the Reeves Center, and he came upstairs to see my director, who at the time was Gabe Klein. And I don't know if you guys know Gabe Klein, but he really likes hip hop also. It was under the Fenty administration. He was fairly young. And so Chuck Brown comes upstairs, but Gabe is not there. Gabe was on vacation or work trip, whatever, but he wasn't there. And so I was his executive assistant. And so Chuck comes in and he's like, "Is Gabe here?" And so I'm like, "Well, hello, Mr. Brown." No, he's not. Now, I had never met him, but it's the way I've been trained. And then he walks and then he backs up, have a hug. I said, absolutely. You want to talk about just such a nice, kind spirit. I jumped up so fast and gave that man a hug.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So yes.
That is a good one. I love it. So tell me, what drew you to DC? How'd you end up at Howard? Of all the schools and all of the HBCUs.
There's other HBCUs. Oh, okay. I believe you.
You know when you're talking to someone. How'd you end up at the Black Mecca?
Yeah, right. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I have a tremendous amount of respect for all of the HBCUs.
They know better. They know how Howard is. Go ahead. You don't have to
Right. I wound up at Howard because I wanted to go to Syracuse. Right. I don't, you're young, you hear these things. They have a good sports team. I don't even play sports. So I don't know anything about sports. Yeah. But I'm just like, I'm always hearing about Syracuse. I want to go to Syracuse, not knowing about the snow, not knowing about anything else. Right. My aunt, my father's sister, who has been like my mother, she went to Howard. Oh, wow. And so she's like, "You're going to Howard." And basically she just indoctrinated me to Howard, and I never, once I got accepted, that was it. I was like, and then once I got there, I loved it. That's so It was just amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I know she's so happy with that. Like, I knew what I was doing, girl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She's the one who I just donated my kidney to. So she's like literally just donated like 3 weeks ago.
So we were going into that next, but speaking of being a giver, Tina just donated her kidney. So
I mean, to me,
you donated your kidney to your aunt. Yes. I have met other people that have donated their kidneys, but not a whole lot of you all.
Yeah.
And I always think that's such a interesting and such a giving, like, it's so selfless, like, truly. And none of you all, when I say it to you all, are like, "Oh yeah," like you're like, "Oh yeah, I gave a kidney." You're never like, "So listen, I'm the best person ever." None of you. No. So how did this come about? How did this idea come in your mind? What happened?
Yeah, because I never see it that way. I see it as, first of all, I have really good kidneys. You heard me say I don't drink, I don't smoke or anything. My kidneys are great. Or now I only have one, but
you have a bomb kidney.
Right.
I got a bomb.
That has to sustain me for the next 50 years, but whatever. Yeah. It came about because she has a rare blood disease called amyloidosis. And during that time, it's very rare. And she was in Tennessee. We were at Vanderbilt, and she had to get a whole bunch of work done. And so, in the midst of all of those procedures, her kidneys, it had an effect on her kidneys. And she ended up being on dialysis. She really didn't like dialysis. And so she asked if someone in the family would consider donating a kidney. So I don't know who else in the family signed up because the process is very private. And so I signed up, and it was not easy. We're talking 4 years in the making. And those who know, Cece and Brandy, they definitely know. I think the hardest part was I'm a fat girl. As you can see, I killed this cupcake so quick, even though I wanted to act like I didn't want to kill it, but I murdered it.
Pretty hot and tempting.
As we say in New York, I murked it.
Pretty hot and tempting, but go ahead.
Nah, man, your girl was way bigger, over 200 pounds, and I had to lose weight to donate the kidney. And so that was very hard for me because I couldn't do it with surgery or pills or shots. I had to physically do it myself. It was hard. The first couple of years I wasn't successful, and the National Kidney Registry, they reached out to me and they asked how could they help, and I was just being I think I have this crazy sense of humor, so in my mind I'm funny, right? Like I gotta tell you about when I got pulled over the other day, what I said to the cop. But I'm over here telling the kidney people, well, I don't know what to do because I just can't lose weight. So if you can't help me lose weight, then I don't know what to do. And they said, okay, we're going to send you a digital scale and we're going to give you a free subscription for a year to the Noom app. Do you think that will help? And I was like, well, hot damn, sure. And lo and behold, it worked.
What?
I weighed myself every day. I started using the Noom app, which I would never pay for it myself. But since it was paid for, I love the features. And literally, and then there's an exercise component where you need to exercise like 20 minutes a day. And I started walking. And then I said, I hate walking. I'm impatient. So then I said, let me try to jog. And I started jogging. And then I started jogging 3 miles a day. And then I would jog 3 miles a day and then walk 3 miles a day. Like all of these things, because my office is in a Navy Yard area. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I never mind walking after work, jogging after work. I'll walk to the tidal basin and back. I jog my neighborhood.
That's a beautiful little situation.
And I lost the weight. And then I called them and I said, hey guys, I lost the weight. I think I lost like 25, 26 pounds, no craziness. But it's hard when you're not getting shots or anything else. It's not that
when you're
easy.
Just going all natural.
Yes.
Definitely. My hat's off to you.
Everything has to align. You have to have the right amount of physicality and you have to eat the right amount of foods and the right kinds of foods. You cannot, if you deprive yourself, it's not going to work. Like I don't think people understand that.
In the process because you're supposed to be then going into surgery, right?
Exactly.
But I think, I definitely, I know your aunt was appreciative, but I also say thank you for shining your light, for being that type of person.
Well, keep praying for her. She just had another operation today. So the kidney transplant was successful. And the kidney's functional. Yes, but she has some other issues. But to me, who wouldn't do it if they could? Like, it's almost like if I see somebody in the street with no jacket and it's the wintertime. I saw a lady at a gas station with no pants and it was the wintertime. I had clothes in my trunk. I said, ma'am, come over here. You can't be out here with your whole butt out. She was on New Jersey hours. She's like, what? I'm like, you can't be out here with your whole butt out. And I'll go in the trunk and I give her some pants.
No, but that's
you need a kidney. I have a kidney. I have the one that I gave her. So they give, I didn't know this either, but they give the recipient the weaker kidney.
Oh, okay.
The kidney had 94% functionality. Like I've been alive 50 years. So that means my good kidney. Because I was like, no, give her the best one. They're like, no, we don't do that. You keep the better one.
Right.
So, it's the very least that I could do. And not only because she paid my tuition at Howard and she's been like my mother, but because it's just a human thing to do. Like I could never watch somebody suffer and I could have helped.
But the reason you feel that way is because she, again, what we just said about you, she has that type of energy. You heard what you just said about her. Like, she paid my tuition. Like she,
Howard's expensive, y'all. I mean, it's more expensive now than it was. But
Howard is crazy expensive. I know people that have had to stop going to Howard because of the cost, you know. So that definitely is.
It's worth it, but it's expensive.
It's nothing to shake a stick at. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
I'll say that.
That was pretty much why I did it. And I don't, I love that. I was so excited when I got to the hospital. They were like, "Are you nervous?" I was like, "No, I'm excited."
Aww,
So cool.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience, and I was in the hospital for 2 days. And
how was your recovery?
My recovery, I'm still in recovery right now. This was 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And the recovery period is 6 weeks.
And you were about to put those heels on. You don't need to
I
put
had the heels on. I went to an event the other day in heels. As long as I can sit, I can.
Okay.
It's just right.
Stay
Like I
there.
can't. Right. I can't stand a long time. Keep
Yeah.
walking around everything.
Yeah.
But they did clear me to drive, so I can drive short distances. Like I drove here. I live about 3 miles away.
Okay.
And you know,
Well,
things like that.
Beautiful. I'm
Thank
just
you.
saying, you're killing the look. Yeah, look, as you're healing up, you're looking
Thank
marvelous.
you. Thank you.
Marvelous, darling. So tell me, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
The best advice that I have ever received is literally, it's not personal. I used to be a crybaby. People probably don't believe that because I'm so anti-cry right now. Like,
Really doesn't.
you can't even make me cry. Like, you'd probably have to kick my ass 30 times to even draw a tear. Well, if you play a Whitney Houston song, I will cry.
Aww.
But other than that, it's very, 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 very hard for me to emote in tears. I have words. I use my words.
Right.
But my same aunt, when I first started working in government, because she was a government official in New York as part of her career, and she would tell me, Tina, it is not personal. Like she would always say that because I'd be like, they did this, and they did this, you know,
Right.
and she'd be like, it is not personal. And in my head, I tell myself that all the time. I'm like, it's not personal. It's not about me. You know, and so I always look at things like that. And when things seem now, sometimes things are personal, right? If we have a personal relationship, it's getting personal,
right?
That's personal.
It
and
can
trust
be
me,
personal.
if I have a personal relationship with you,
right,
and I feel like you did something that
right.
has really hurt me, you're going to know because you probably won't hear from me for a while because I have to like shut it all down and reevaluate what's going on here. Because I don't hurt people,
right?
And I definitely don't hurt people who are important to me. And so if I feel like someone has hurt me, and if I feel like there's a chance that it's deliberate, I will shut down. But for the most part, people are not out here to deliberately hurt people.
No, not at all.
And when it's work is work. Everybody has their goal. I have my goal, you have your goal. Now, sometimes those goals clash. This happens to me all the time at work. I'm like, well, you don't like it. It's okay. You can go talk. I'm not the biggest boss, right? Have a leadership position, but there's someone over me.
Right.
And I welcome people to go talk to that person if they don't like what I'm saying, because I believe firmly in what I'm saying. If you really want what you want, go test it out over there. If they tell me to do it, then I'll do it.
Right.
But this is not what I feel is best.
Right.
And I'm the subject matter expert. So there's that. So that's the best advice. It's not personal.
I love that. I tell people that all the time. Like, people are generally speaking just not out here trying to offend you. You know?
Exactly.
And like even somebody that cuts you off when they're driving. Oh, shout out to Ray. Ray said, "Hey, lady."
Hi, Ray. I love you, Ray.
Yes,
Ray's going to be one of the vendors at the pop-up shop also.
Oh, awesome.
She's
so
selling all those good
Enterprises.
Yes, RAS Enterprises selling those good herbs.
Make sure that you check them out. Definitely, RAS Enterprises has all of your freshly sourced Jamaican herbs for your needs.
Lemongrass, soursop bitters.
Yes, the soursop bitters. They have all types of things. I mean, for weight loss, for your high blood pressure, if you're dealing with anxiety, chronic illness. You know, all of those things. If we're trying to get our summer bodies, even though it's already, May, so you
this is my summer body. I gotta take me out.
You probably should just give the summer what it's gonna get at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like the summer gonna get this because it's summertime. Summer. If you want to get yourself healthier, seriously, and you want to get your numbers in order, cut down on those sugar cravings, the candida in your stomach, all that stuff.
Yes.
Definitely check out RAS Enterprises.
Yes.
Now, with regard to your life, we know, as we've said, different times, people have to pivot and you have to recharge yourself. Now, I know you had your situation, which was definitely a pivoting moment when you had your baby. But then, can you tell me of a time when life tried to knock the wind out of you? And how did you get your air back? How did you breathe again?
Yeah, and I love a Toni Braxton quote because she's a Libra and I'm a Libra. So. I don't know. That's a very interesting question for me because I see everything as the blessing, right? I believe that everything that's supposed to happen will happen.
Right.
And there have been times, like for instance, I had this job. I loved this job. This was like my favorite job.
Right.
And I was, at the time, I didn't understand the different positions. I was very young and I had a leadership position in district government.
Okay.
And so my agency let me go. And I didn't understand that I was par for the course for that type of leadership position.
Okay.
And it hurt me so bad to my core because I work very hard. Like if you know me, you know,
Yeah.
like I do
Yeah.
1,000 things, but I do them all equally. Like I
Yeah.
will stay up for 50 hours to make
Yeah.
sure I'm giving equal time to everything.
Right.
And I remember being very upset that it happened. I remember thinking, but I can't control it. Even when it happened, the way they did it was very nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I guess it is what it is. And I got severance and I got some extra pay and all of these things.
Okay.
But something happened. I went to an event
Uh-huh.
and I do not party. I do not go to happy hours because I don't drink. There's no
Right.
need for me to be there.
Right.
Right. Somebody invited me. I went. And there was a young lady there who now is so dear to my heart. One of my really good friends. Her name is Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking and we worked together,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and she had said, we were very young. She's younger than I am, but I was younger at the time. She was even younger. And she said, well, send me your resume. I'll send it to my mother.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay. Thinking nothing of it. People do this all the time. Send me your resume. I said, okay.
Right.
She sends it to her mother. I have no idea who her mother is. Her mother had a high position at another agency. And so she literally helped me get a job. Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't have the job I have now if that didn't happen. And so I realized that when I know that I'm coming from a place of love, I didn't do anything wrong. And again, it's not personal.
Right.
These are things that happen.
Right.
You know, a new administration, things
Mhm.
happen. I realized that what's for me is going to be for me. And sometimes if I can't get to it, God is going to make sure that it gets to me. And sometimes it looks like loss. It looks like no job.
Yeah.
It looks like your relationship is failing. It looks like, you know, this is happening.
Right.
But it's setting you up for something else. And so I don't really, that probably was the moment that it had to be all faith. And I had to think about everything I had, right?
Yeah.
I was getting severance. Do you know? It's funny because I'm a stylist. I'm a wardrobe stylist, right? I bought my very first Gucci bag with my severance check from that job. I went to the damn Gucci store. Yes, I did. Yes. And I bought a Gucci bag.
That is wow.
I will never forget that. Now, crazy part is this Gucci bag.
Talk about retail therapy.
It was when it was a Chevy Chase.
Uh-huh.
Because I used to work at Coach, and so one of the people I used to work at
Yeah.
Coach with worked at Gucci, and he did not give me his discount because I didn't. Nope, but it was fine. I didn't mind. I had the money. I had a big old severance check.
Well, why didn't he?
Long story. It made sense. I don't blame him, and we were cool.
Okay.
I know why he
It
didn't give
made
it to me.
sense. Okay.
Right, because when we were at Coach, we didn't get discounts per se. We got discount cards, so you got hole
Oh.
punches because we were seasonal.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted to use mine one time, but I was like,
Oh,
no,
okay.
because I was buying something for somebody else. So I get it,
Okay.
but I did go to him to buy my bags.
Right.
And a few years later, that bag got stolen out of my car, which is
No.
fine because guess what? You know what it taught me?
What?
And this was important. Material things are really not important. I have a lot, you know the line, so much material, but not materialistic.
Yes.
If my shit goes today, I don't even
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
When that Gucci bag got gone, God had a lesson for me. Like, this is not life.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I have 1,000 Gucci bags. I
And
buy them.
anything that's
They
taken,
go.
Yeah, it's gonna anything that you lose, whether it's a person, a
Right.
place, or a thing, anything you lose, it's only making room for something
Yep.
else that's meant to come into your
That's
world.
right. Because
honestly
now I got a whole
speaking.
bunch of Gucci bags, but
Yeah.
not that I even care, you know.
Right.
And I go through this with my cars. Brandy knows the whole car situation. So
Really?
Jesus Christ. Yes.
Well, we're gonna
Lord.
pray over your car, definitely.
It's back. It's back. I hope it's still out there.
So now
But-
I ask all parents this, right? Well, I ask everybody this also. But so with regards to your life, right? What is the legacy if there was nothing? Like if your daughter could not remember your name, she couldn't remember what you look like, she couldn't remember if she could only remember 3 things about you, right? Well, your name could be one if you want to choose that. But 3 things she can remember about you only, okay?
Yeah.
What would those 3 things be?
Let's see. So the name's not important at all.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 things that I would want her to remember, and that I hope, even during this time where she barely even wants to speak to me, I think what I want her to remember about me is number 1, that hard work is important. Like you are your reputation, and so if you want to have a good reputation, you know, work hard and stick to your word.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing I would want her to remember.
Mhm.
I would want her to remember, you know how, have you ever looked at an old picture of your mother or your father or somebody and you're like, oh my God, they were so classy. Like the immortalized version of them is always, I have a picture of my grandmother on my phone. It's always this classy version.
Yeah.
I always want her to remember me looking in that type of way. Like the best picture I've ever taken that makes her feel the proudest.
Yeah.
I want her to have, like, that is the representation of Black excellence.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I know for sure that she has taken and will never forget is that just have a giving heart, have a giving nature, you know, because somebody gave it to you, and so you should give it to someone else.
I love that. And that is who you are. I feel like you live that. So I think you're handling that pretty well. I'm just saying.
That's probably the most important thing I would want her to know. Like, just be she gave away my Ugg boots one time. So crazy. I bought these Ugg boots. They were pink for breast cancer awareness.
Right.
Went all over the place, got these boots, love these boots. She was living in New York. She needed a pair of boots. I would give my daughter anything. Even today, if she calls me out the blue, she needs, you're going to get. I said, you can take the boots. So then she calls me a few months later talking about there was some lady outside who didn't have any shoes. So she gave them my Ugg boots. And I was like, you know what? Whatever.
That's
like,
your
I was
child.
right. I gave her my fiance's hat one time. There was a man in the rain. He was homeless. And he was asking for money. It was pouring. And there was a hat in my back seat.
Yeah.
And I said, sir, you cannot be out here getting wet like this. And I get
right.
Where's my hat? Where's my hat? I was like, I don't know.
You're like, I don't know what happened to it.
Hopefully he doesn't hear this, because he's probably like,
oh, wait, he doesn't know whatever.
You never knew that I gave away that hat, ever.
You help somebody. If I can help.
He's going to kill me.
Somebody.
That's right.
But so, yeah. So, Tina, tell me what does the future hold? What do you see next? What's coming up in the next 5 to 10 for the Urban Freshery, for Tina Roper? What should we be looking forward to?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Next 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25 years, this little book should be written. It's my life's work.
I'm mad that you went up to 20, but go ahead.
It's already been 20 years to make it.
20. You said the next.
Right, it's going to be another 20 years. I don't know. As far as anything else, I really just don't know. I kind of just let the fate be. Like, I put the work in, and then whatever is to happen, happens. So ideally, what I would like to happen, I also have this little group I formed called the Winner's Circle, and it's a bunch of entrepreneurial women. And we used to meet to support each other in each other's endeavors, right? To lend support, to share information, to kind of provide guidance. And so I have turned that into, I've incorporated it, and I'm transitioning it into a not-for-profit. So ideally, what I would like to do is, I'm in pursuit of a commercial property. And I want to be able to have a pop-up shop kind of property where young entrepreneurs, and I'll call them young winners, that's what I plan on calling them, where they can come and set up their stalls for free and do their business and make their money without having to pay a rent or something like that, just to support the young gentlemen selling oils. Ideally, I would like to have a place where they could just come set up a stall, have their wares, and people come there to buy it, and they don't have to worry about making $500 a day because they don't have to, they don't have to be out 90 degree weather, and they don't have to pay a rent because it will be paid for.
Or worrying about somebody telling them they're loitering or whatever else, or all that type of stuff. So yeah, I think that's really dope. I think that's a great idea, and it's a great give back type of situation. Now, we don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get into your mentorship real quick, because you do a lot of mentoring, and you're definitely like, you'll look up in a heartbeat and see one of her little mentees beside her. I mean, they don't be so little, but you know.
I know, but I love them.
That's because you're not but so big yourself. That's why.
I know.
But tell me.
In my mind, I'm tall, but
that's all that really matters. That is all that really matters. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. I remember my daughter arguing with somebody back in the day because she was getting her hair straightened, and she was telling them how her hair comes down to her ankles.
That's right.
And the lady straightening her hair is like, I can feel it though, and it only comes to like right here, you know.
It's like, you're wrong.
And she was
Is it London or your other daughter?
No, it was my other daughter.
Okay.
She said that's because you don't know how to straighten it right.
There it is. She told him right.
So shrinkage is real, and my hair comes down to my ankles.
Mine too.
I'm just saying. But yes. So tell me with regard to your shoot, I forgot what I was going to ask you.
I know. I kind of remember.
Back to your, let's just go back to where I wanted to go originally, which is with regard to raising a daughter. How difficult was it raising a daughter? Like, I know how hard raising a daughter. I raised 4 daughters. I have 4 daughters. But being a mom of a girl, You know, people always talk about how these boys, they jump off the roofs and they're back flipping and they're fighting and all this stuff. But too many people don't give credence to raising girls. So how was that for you? What was your what age was your most colorful age?
That's a great question because I have one biological child, but I have 4 bonus children. And
they're not all girls?
No.
Okay.
There's one boy, Nasir.
Okay.
And if anybody knows me, Nasir's like my whole heart. Like this is, I can't even talk about Nasir right now, but he literally is like my best little friend, like my best little buddy. We were everywhere together because I've known these kids since they were 3 years old and they're 19 now. The oldest 2 are 19, 18 and 19. But I think raising a daughter for me, it was just us for a long time. And so it really wasn't that hard because I feel like we were in our own little bubble and their social media wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah.
So I was like her world.
Yeah.
Until she became a teenager. And it wasn't even that bad as a teenager. I think it has gotten the worst when I introduced new kids into her life because I feel like she's so used to having me and I was giving this attention to them. And I was far better at parenting when these children came into my life because I was a lot older.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't have to work 2 jobs and go to school.
Yeah.
You know, I'm available. I pick Nasir up from school every day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, but I put him in sports and I'm there with him.
Yeah.
I would put Jay Shauna into activities and then I would have my aunt take her and then I'll try to get somebody to pick her up and she's home by herself and doing her homework by herself and she spent a lot of time alone.
Yeah.
And I feel like the toughest thing was as she got older as an adult, I feel like that was just very hard for her to conceptualize and to see me parenting in a different way. I don't think I ever was a bad parent. I'm not the best parent in the world, you know, but I feel like the interaction. So I think that the worst years were probably like now at 30.
Yeah.
29. She's 31.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I can only imagine because truthfully speaking, I tell people all the time, my oldest daughter, she's 27 and then, you know, London is 16. They have 2 different parents.
Yeah, definitely.
Completely different parents. Literally all the way down to the fact that Taylor's mom was Tamika. Yeah. London's mom is Mika Nicole. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're completely different people. Yes. And not only that, London's mom experienced losing a child, right? Yeah. So London's mom might fuss at London, but how much is she going to fuss for real? Is London really going to get that beating that she might need? You know what I mean?
London never needs a beating, but yeah.
London does.
London never needs a beating.
Corporal punishment in her life. But seriously though, like automatically, it's now not so much, but initially when my son first passed away, I would be very hesitant about like fussing at her or you know when I fussed at her, like so she was just getting away with murder, you know. Yeah. So I think that's something we have to be very conscious of is that you know we raise our kids, but we just do the best we can with what we have, and so. You know, Nasir doesn't have the same mom, you know what I mean, that your daughter had, unfortunately. But she should also be proud of who you've grown into. Because I'm sure she appreciates it all, and I'm sure she does, like, value and look up to the things that you are.
I think that's probably debatable, but what I would say is I'll amend what I said I want her to remember about me. Okay. And what I really want to remember is that I'm human. Right? Like I feel like children forget that your parents are people before anything else. And you want to be who you want to be. I am who I am. Yeah. And so you want me to allow you to be comfortable with the person you are, with the way that you emote and the way that you love and the way that you grieve and the way that you do everything. I would like that reciprocated on some type of level. And I think that children put their parents on a pedestal, especially when you're a single parent and you're the only parent and they don't see any flaws. Right. Because we try not to show them any flaws. Right. Yeah. But we're flawed. Everyone is flawed. But I also believe these are God's children. I'm just the vessel. And I say all the time, what's meant to be is going to be. I'm like, this is not my child. Yeah. This is God's child. Yeah. I've done the best I could by God. Yeah. How I've raised this child, how I've reared this child. And God has to do the rest. Yeah, literally. Yeah. I love that. That just was so on point. I don't even think you really understand. Yeah. Like, so my Thankful Thursday thought of the day. Sorry, I haven't said my Thankful Thursday thought of the day, and this is the perfect time. My Thankful Thursday thought of the day is that we are all human.
right? And we all deserve grace, and we all deserve the grace that we're giving to other people.
Yes.
So make sure that we're giving that grace out, right? I'm just saying. I love that you said that about us being humans, though, as parents, because not even just as parents, but as other people. Just like you said when we were talking about people, it not being personal, and the fact that people don't intend to offend you per se. It's not really about you, generally speaking.
Right.
So just like in the sense of when you're walking down the street and somebody's not trying to offend you, your parents are trying to, 9 times out of 10, they're trying to give you the best that they have.
That's right.
Now, the best that they have might not be all that you want or need, in all honesty.
Right.
But you do have to appreciate the fact that they're giving you the best that they have, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of us get stuck in that. I'm not talking about as kids, but as adults, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, I think that's something that's very honorable about you, is that, you know, you said your parents both dealt with addiction. They weren't necessarily present as you wanted them to be, as present as you wanted them to be consistently. But you don't let that hamper who you've turned into, or the light that you actually have to shine in the world. And you don't walk around with that chip on your shoulder, you know, like such and such ruined my life. Ray Ray made me go drink this liquor, because you didn't drink. Instead.
And I'm grateful to just be born. They could have unborn me.
Amen.
So I'm like, I made it. Oh, wow. All I had to do was pop out, and everything else is up to me.
I love that.
There's a song, I think it's by James Ingram, Just Once. And when I always romanticize my relationship with Jay Shauna, because it's always us. And so there's always love songs that make me think of her. And one of them is Just Once by James Ingram. It's like, I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. And then there's a Michael Jackson song also, When the Angels Come. I don't want to leave my baby alone. Those, to me, those are our songs, because she truly is the love of my life. And when I think of love songs, especially those in particular, that are just about loving somebody so hard, and it's just not enough, or you might not be here long enough to really, you know, love somebody completely and fully. Those are the things I think of. And I just, you know, the kids just have to understand, like, we are people and they are everything to us. Even the parents that aren't so good. My mother, one thing I told her when she apologized, because I don't think you need to apologize to me. You did the best you knew how to do. But I told her, I said, you don't have to apologize. You were doing what you knew how to do. You could have kept me with you. I could have had a horrible life.
Amen.
I'm like, I had a decent life. I was not, you know, like a Huxtable kid or anything.
But you very well could have been one of those kids on soft white underbelly, right?
Right.
Like, so
or
she
the
had
Wire
me out here on Fig, you know what I mean? Like, or the Wire.
Right, I could have been Wallace.
Literally, though, like, that's some real talk. And I mean, I think that's so amazing. I think we all need to take more of take that note from you in observing not only the lesson in experiences, but the blessing in experiences, because there is a lesson, but there's also a blessing in every experience that you have.
And you only get one life. So you want to make it the best it can. Whatever you need to tell yourself to get through the day, that's what you need to do. Because you're not going to get to redo this. You come through here but once. And so you need to do what you can to get yourself out of whatever funk. Live the life that you were meant to live. Every table you are at, you belong there. Tell yourself that. It is not personal. People do not mean to offend you. But even more than that, and this is probably not the best time to say this, but this is my go-to. Find your inner Kanye, the most sane version that you can. Do what you want to do. Do your thing. You know, and your people will find you. You will fall in where you belong. I don't know if he has any more people to find him, but we can't deny that talent. And his talent was so unique. This man wrote a song called Jesus Walks, and it got played in clubs. Amazing. Be that.
Saying if I talk about God, my record won't get played, huh?
That's right. There it is.
Listen to it on the radio constantly, right?
Exactly.
I think that's so amazing, and that's such a good point. And I don't think a lot of us have noted that fact, you know?
Right.
But that's so funny that you said that. I was just about to ask her, so as we're wrapping up, can you tell me why existing is just not enough for you? I feel like that might have hit it, but did you have more on that? Was there another?
There's a lot of positive self-talk. Like, I don't feel like, I can always do more. I really do. I don't know, because the thing is, I feel like I can always do more, right? Like, you look at the Allen Iversons and the Kobe Bryants, and like there are levels and then there are levels, right? There are people who simply just exist. And I think our level of existing is we have those type of personalities and that type of charisma that carries us like leaves to where we're supposed to be. And then you have people who are highly intentional. You mentioned Brandy. She's a leaf. She gets carried to where she's supposed to be, but she is highly intentional. This woman will say, I'm going to make a movie. Her little black ass is like, I'm going to make a movie. And then the next thing you know, we're sitting here making a movie. And I think what I would want people to take away, if they took away one thing, is be more intentional. I feel like I could improve upon myself if I were more intentional.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the fact is we all get the same 24 hours, and we can't deny that. And so,
and I'm going to spend mine watching TV. I need to be more intentional.
Yeah, like, are we going to spend it, you know what I mean, smelling our fingers, or are we going to, you know, get up, and get something, you know? Don't let the days of your life pass by.
Yeah, but you can do anything. People say, you know, you look at somebody, like I might look at Bobby Brown, because obviously I love Bobby Brown. Well, it's not obvious, but I do. I love Bobby Brown. And I'm like, oh, he has this great life, but we miss the work that went into that, right? You mentioned Megan Thee Stallion. She worked so hard to be who she is. Not to say that their lifestyles are easy, but anything you want to do, you have to work at. And I think where I apply that most is my career, like my, yes, into fashion, but also into my government career. There's nothing that I won't do for my job. Like, I'm there for them all the time. And I don't care. And I know people say you shouldn't do that. That makes me feel good. Like I love being good at my job. And I'm very intentional about that. I've set up very intentional steps and processes and protocols for even when I'm out of the office, where who can contact me and how things get done, and just making sure things get done. So I think just being intentional about the things you want and not being afraid to be human. Like, you're a person, and just come from a good place. If everything comes from a place of love, you never have to worry.
I love it. Yes. Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate you. We're about to run out of time, though. And there is another show coming up behind us.
You sugared me up.
I can't run overtime here because, you know, we got other people.
Oh, it's time for us to go.
But listen, I really appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you sharing your story. Like, you definitely were a true inspiration, as you always are. But again, so we have your information at the bottom. People can check her out at gold_medal_shopper on Instagram. You can also check her out at this pop-up shop that she's having in June. It's right here at the bottom, June 22nd at Mixed in Hyattsville, MIXT in Hyattsville. And again, as we said, shout out to our sponsor, the Fort Lauderdale Fiesta. For everybody in Florida right now, I hope you all are having a great time. I hope you're being safe and responsible, and stay dangerous out there. Talk to you soon. Thank you all for being the best you can be, because there's literally nobody out here better suited for the job than you. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Oh, next week, you guys, I'm going to have Q on the show from the film Stronger, one of the lead actors. Oh my gosh, you all, Quentin is simply amazing. You won't want to miss it, definitely. So Thursday, I will see you all there.
I'm going to pop up.
You should, definitely.
Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, coming straight off the leash. She kill them all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo, cause Shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo.